Hello, my name is Zev Bomzon, Director of Science at Novocure. I joined Novocure over 7 years ago, and since then, I have had the privilege to be part of a scientific and technological spearhead advancing the science of TT field dosimetry and treatment planning. This spearhead has involved extensive collaborations with clinicians, physicists, and engineers around the globe and at Novocure, the establishment of prolific physics and algorithms teams dedicated to this field. It is the story of this journey that I would like to tell you today. Let me begin by defining TT field dosimetry and treatment planning. To me, this is the scientific area concerned with A, understanding how to define TT fields dose in a clinically meaningful manner. B, understanding how TT fields dose distribution influences patient outcome. And C, utilizing our understanding on TT fields dose to better plan treatment. For instance, plan array placement on the skin to maximize dose distribution of the tumor. The real breakthrough in this field came at the end of last year, 2019, when a collaborative effort, including Dr. Matt Bellow, who will speak after me, was published in the Red Journal. This publication showed a correlation between TT fields dose at the tumor and overall survival in GBM patients. In this study, we utilized a combination of numerical simulations and mining of clinical data to provide a clinically meaningful definition for TT fields dose and show that within the EF14 trial, higher TT fields dose at the tumor bed was associated with prolonged survival. The modeling methods we developed for this study, as well as our understanding on how to define TT fields dose in a clinically meaningful manner, have enabled us to develop MaxPoint. MaxPoint is a software system built to enable physicians to perform TT fields treatment planning in a patient-specific manner, utilizing computational simulations. The platform provides clinicians with tools for creating patient-specific computational models, optimizing TT fields array layouts to maximize dose in target regions, as well as graphic aids for visualization of TT fields dose distributions within the patient-specific models. The platform was designed in collaboration with clinicians, including Dr. Bellow, and has a touch and feel similar to that of radiation planning software. It brings advanced treatment planning options into the clinic in a user-friendly manner. So how did we get here, and where are we going next? The most fundamental cornerstone for treatment planning is the ability to create computational models. This is because computational models are the only practical tool for estimating field distributions and predicting how the field will distribute in response to a series of treatment plans. First simulations of delivery of TT fields to the brain were published in 2007. Here you can see an excerpt from the publication showing delivery of TT fields to a rat brain. Obviously, in this case, the model is highly simplified, yet it was sufficient to establish that TT fields could be delivered at therapeutic intensities of above 1 volt per centimeter to small rodents. Interestingly, the first simulations of TT fields delivery to a human brain were performed outside of Novocure by Pedro Miranda and colleagues. These results were published just before I joined Novocure. They were sufficient to settle the author's skepticism about TT fields being able to be generated through the relatively insulating skull, so that therapeutic intensities were obtained within the brain. This study was the first of many establishing techniques for simulating TT fields delivery in realistic human models. However, the techniques for developing realistic head models developed by Miranda and his colleagues, as well as others, were labor-intensive and required hours to days to create a single head model. Hence, such techniques were not suitable for rapidly creating head models on a scale compatible with that required for personalized treatment planning. To overcome this problem, we developed a new model creation technique, the schematic of which you can see on this slide. This technique was utilized for the red paper study, and an improved version is used in MaxPoint. We are now moving ahead, developing methods for creating personalized torso models, improved methods for tumor segmentation, and using deep learning and continuing our study on the effect of TT field distribution on progression patterns. Combining physics with computer vision, deep learning, and data mining, we hope to improve our understanding about how TT fields influences disease and are aiming to develop methods that may enable prediction of patient outcomes in response to TT fields therapy. So what research activities make up the field of TT fields dosimetry and treatment planning? This slide shows the various topics we are interested in. These topics include a better understanding on how to define TT fields dose and its clinical implications, understanding the biophysics of TT fields at a cellular level, improving our methods for modeling TT fields and optimizing treatment, experimental work to better characterize tissue properties and TT fields distributions, and QA, the art of understanding all uncertainties associated with a treatment plan, and integrating these uncertainties in order to improve treatment plans and manage patients in an effective and realistic manner. And what is the vision for the future? To get a hang of this, it is worth looking at radiation therapy. Years ago, radiation was planned for single field using X-rays. Computational capabilities and technological breakthroughs have brought about advances such as IMRT that enables accurate delivery of radiation to small tumors. I believe we are just at the beginning for TT fields therapy, at the phase just one step above the equivalent of single field radiation therapy. By pushing the activities I described above, you can imagine the following schematic for TT fields treatment. We will likely have advanced hardware for delivering TT fields, which we could personalize so that delivery of TT fields is optimal. Physicians would be able to perform this optimization using future versions of treatment planning software. Over time, as disease patterns change, physicians could utilize the treatment planning software to replan treatment for the patient. When replanning is performed, all historical medical data, as well as recent MRI and CT, might be incorporated into algorithms that not only suggest optimal plans based on dose distributions, but also based on models and algorithms that predict how the tumor will grow in response to a given plan. I feel privileged to have played a part in this development, and I'm excited about the potential that lies ahead. And now, I'd like to hand it over to my friend and colleague, Dr. Matt Bello, to let him talk a little bit more about treatment planning.
Thanks, Zeb, for that introduction. I've been asked to provide some thoughts on the research and development of tumor treating fields and the management of patients with solid malignancies. I'm Matthew Ballo, a radiation oncologist at the West Cancer Center, located in Memphis, Tennessee. I first became interested in tumor treating fields research in late 2015, when the preliminary results of EF-14 became available. I remember hearing the results presented at the Society of Neuro-Oncology meeting and immediately thinking that these results were going to be very important, not just for my patients with glioblastoma, but also potentially for my patients with other solid malignancies. It seemed that tumor treating fields' mechanism of action was sufficiently high up in cellular pathways that it was going to be very difficult for cells to develop a means of resistance. After reviewing the literature and familiarizing myself with the basic science research, I concluded that this technology would not only benefit my patients, but it would be an opportunity for our multidisciplinary group at the West Cancer Center, and it would be an opportunity for radiation oncologists to engage in the development of a new and exciting antimitotic therapy. Our neuro-oncology program was newly established, and we were looking for ways to bring the multidisciplinary team closer together. Tumor treating fields, clinical research, and clinical implementation fit our needs perfectly. The surgeon introduces the need for multidisciplinary care, including tumor treating fields at the time of diagnosis. The neuro-oncologist writes the order for Optune, and the radiation oncologist, that's me, does the array layout mapping. We've even created an institutional database for our patients where we track our outcomes, patient adherence, and their views towards this novel therapy. In many ways, tumor treating fields served as the nidus to the advancement of our multidisciplinary activities. It was equally apparent that within the multidisciplinary team, the radiation oncologist would become the primary driver for tumor treating fields acceptance. Radiation oncologists regularly visualize the spatial distribution of ionizing radiation, and we're accustomed to manipulating this distribution to maximize the dose delivered to the tumor volume. That's what we do all day long. Research I performed with the physicists at Novocure proved that just like in radiation therapy, the dose of tumor treating fields is important because a higher dose translates into better tumor control. MaxPoint, the software developed for visualizing the spatial distribution of tumor treating fields, will allow radiation oncologists to manipulate the dose delivered to the tumor, and it also creates a framework for managing our patients' device usage. Novocure has gone a long way to engage radiation oncologists from around the country to help develop this software, and I'm really quite honored to be involved as one of the test sites. This software represents a potential leap forward because physician engagement leads to patient engagement. And remember, our research proves that the more patients use the device, the better their outcome. In summary, from a clinician's perspective, Novocure has done everything right, from patient and physician engagement to device and software development. All of this with an eye towards our shared goal of improving quality of life and ultimately improving patient survival. Thank you.